Hello, welcome to Meals with Maria. Today we're cooking like the Amish. When I think of the Amish, I think of horse-drawn carriages, no electricity, cooking over a fire, which is somewhat true. There are some communities in the Amish community that are still living like that and still cooking like that. And there are some communities that have become more modernized, I guess. I think they still stay away from the electronics and the television, social media, all that stuff. But they sometimes some Amish people actually eat processed foods or go to the grocery store. So these recipes are more traditional Amish recipes. The thing about the Amish community is that they work together and they do make most of their food. They are farmers by nature, and they spend a lot of time getting things ready to eat and also building homes, things like that. So they do most of their stuff on their own, and they have long days and they work really hard and they eat a relatively healthy diet, but this diet is actually pretty high in starch and fat because they're working so hard all day long. So these recipes, these traditional Amish recipes, are for a macaroni salad, a potato salad, and a breakfast casserole. All of them are super hearty and delicious and things that I had never tried before, really. I feel like the breakfast casserole I had maybe seen a variation on, and I thought everybody maybe made Amish potato salad at least once in their life, but I don't think so. It's a sweet and tangy flavor, something very different from what I've had in the past. So come enjoy some traditional Amish fare.
I'm starting off by making an Amish potato salad, which is perfect for summer. I'm going to make about half the recipe because the initial recipe makes enough for 8. Place 3 potatoes in a large pot and fill with enough water to cover. We're going to bring that to a boil and cook for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are easily pierced with a fork. While the potatoes are cooking, I whisk together 1 egg and about 3/8 a cup of white sugar because I'm doing half the recipe, with 1/2 a teaspoon of cornstarch. Stir in 1/6 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, 1/4 cup of milk, and 1/2 teaspoon of prepared yellow mustard. Cook over medium heat, stirring frequently until thickened. And the recipe says to do this for like 10 minutes, but I did it for about 3 and mine thickened right up and I did not want to cook it any longer. So, go with what works for you on your stove, but for me, it took about 3 minutes. When you remove it from the heat, you want to add 1.5 tablespoons of butter in and then stir that and melt that butter. This makes like a tangy, almost honey mustardy flavored sauce, and it's pretty good. You just want to let this cool down and put it in the refrigerator until it's totally cool, and then we're going to add a little mayo to it later. In the meantime, chop about 1/2 cup of celery, about 1/2 cup of carrots, and 1/2 of a small onion, and just finely chop that. And I actually set my veggies, my potatoes, and my sauce aside until the next morning to make this salad, but you can just wait until that sauce and the potatoes are cooled down, and that's a fine option as well. To your sauce, you want to add 1 cup of mayonnaise, whatever your favorite mayonnaise is, or you can even make your own mayonnaise, whatever works for you. I think if you wanted to make it the true Amish way, you would cook it over a wood fire, and then you would totally make your own mayonnaise, and you'd try to do it all from scratch. Now you have the option to either just cut your potatoes up like this, or you can peel them, and I opted to kind of peel the skin off them because I was bringing this to friends, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to like the skin on or not. If I was making it at home, I probably would have left it on because these are yellow potatoes, and I think when you have yellow potatoes like this, the skin's actually pretty good, so it depends. You want to cut the potatoes into a medium dice and add that to your vegetables. You want to add 2 hard-boiled eggs. I just steamed mine for 14 minutes in my steamer, but I'll put a couple different ways that you can hard-boil eggs down below in the description box if you're wondering how to do them on the stove or steam them. Gently fold in your dressing, and then you just want to refrigerate it until you're ready to serve. The longer this sits, the more flavor it's going to have, so sometimes you can leave it up to 24 hours and it's going to taste even better and more phenomenal. This is definitely a different type of dressing. Like, I'm used to making more of a pickle and egg potato salad. That's my favorite. This was definitely sweeter and tangier, but because it was different does not mean that it was bad. It was really good, just something very different and something like I have never had before. So I thought, oh, everybody must make Amish potato salad. Well, that is definitely not true because it was a new flavor for me and it was definitely something that I could crave and something different. Total non-Amish interjection right here. I had Julian on Instagram on my stories swinging on this thing to Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball, and it's actually pretty cute and pretty funny. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and do it. It's meals.with.maria. I'll put it down at the bottom of the screen right here and check me out over there. This next recipe is for an Amish macaroni salad, and we're starting by boiling 2 cups of elbow macaroni, but I think you could use like rotini or whatever type of pasta you want for your pasta salad. But the elbow macaroni I think is like traditional. So I'm just cooking that according to the package instructions, and then I'm actually going to rinse it off because macaroni salad's great like that. If you want to make it in a bind like super fast in a pinch, you can just cool down the macaroni by running some cold water over it, and it comes together super fast. So I really appreciate that when you are in a rush. I'm just cutting up 3 stalks of celery, 1 small onion. You can use red onion, you can use white onion. As always, if you don't have fresh onion, you could use like a tablespoon of onion powder. The recipe calls for 1 small red pepper cut up, but my husband does not like red pepper, and I was making this for Father's Day, so there was no option to add it here. To this, I'm adding 2 cups of mayonnaise. It says Miracle Whip or like creamy salad dressing, but I am not a Miracle Whip person. Like, there is no way you're getting me to eat this salad if it has Miracle Whip in it. So do you, if you like Miracle Whip. It's going to make it more traditional. It's going to make it exactly what the Amish recipe says it should be. But I am definitely going to use my mayonnaise. Then add 3/4 cup of white sugar, and I felt like that was a lot of sugar. This is another sweet and tangy dressing similar to the potato salad, but I ended up just adding 1/2 cup, and that was plenty for me. So I don't know, depends on what you like. Then add 2 1/4 teaspoons of white vinegar, 2 tablespoons of dill relish, 3 tablespoons of yellow mustard, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You want to mix everything together and then add in your cooled off macaroni. And then you want 3 hard-boiled eggs, and you're going to chop those up and add those to the salad after you mix everything really well, just because you don't want to mix those eggs in first because they'll get kind of mushy. And you have a delicious macaroni salad. And this was a huge hit on Father's Day. Everybody loved it. And in particular, Ben really liked it. He actually saw the bowl the next day when I was taking it out of the fridge and started like screaming for it because he liked it that much and he remembered what it looked like, which was wild. But it was really good and it was his favorite. Now we're going to make an Amish breakfast casserole. You want to start with about 1 pound of bacon diced and 1 medium onion chopped. Cook your bacon and your onion over medium heat until your bacon is crisp, and then you want to drain that. While that's cooking, you can combine 6 large eggs, then add in 1.5 cups of cottage cheese and 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And then you want 4 cups of frozen shredded hash browns, but you want to make sure that they are thawed. So if you haven't thawed them in the refrigerator ahead of time, go ahead and thaw those out in the microwave. You really do not want to cook this with the frozen hash browns because it would take a very, very long time in the oven and everything would not cook evenly. So you want to make sure that those are definitely thawed out before you add them. You also want to add 1¼ cups of either shredded Swiss cheese, or I ended up using shredded Gouda cheese because I didn't have Swiss, and I know that Gouda tastes absolutely delicious with eggs, so maybe it's not the traditional Amish casserole, but with the Gouda it tastes great as well. I am traditionally shredding it though, right? Then you can stir in your bacon mixture, and you want to transfer the entire thing, once well mixed, to a greased 9x13 baking dish. This is a pretty simple and delicious breakfast. This served my family of 4.5 that eat for 2 mornings, and it was absolutely delicious, and I would make it again. It's been added to the rotation. I really like adding that cottage cheese to it. Gives it a lot of fluff and flavor. If you're trying to cut down on cost, you can really make this casserole a lot more affordable by using the reconstituted shredded potatoes. You can get those at the Dollar Tree, like the little Hungry Man or something. And you could also use ham instead of bacon. You can get that small container of like budding, I think, or budig at Walmart for like 70 something cents, and that would be the perfect amount to add to a casserole like this. So you could really make some budget swaps that can make this very affordable and still very delicious. Overall, cooking like the Amish was quite fun and quite delicious, and like expected, it's definitely not low-fat recipes. These are heavy-duty recipes, but they are delicious and something to have every once in a while. Great for barbecues, great for bringing to different events, and still very budget-friendly. So I want to thank you all for being here today. I'm so happy that you got to watch this video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If you like these cooking like videos, I have a awesome cooking like it's the Great Depression video for you to check out, and I hope you like that, and I'll see you all very soon.